Hey, happy Saturday. I'm 9 News Weather Impact Team meteorologist Chris Bianchi, and for today, got a fire and ice setup. We are already seeing plenty of mountain snow for us on this Saturday morning across the high country. Later on today, though, that wind will be the bigger story for us here along the Front Range. So maybe 40, 50 mile an hour winds. It's going to kind of be one of those days where it feels like being inside of a hairdryer. So let's start things off here by taking a look outside at Rocky Mountain National Park. I think that tells the story for us in the high country, where we have some of that steady snow falling for us in those headlines. We've got that fire danger along the eastern plains. Red flag warning, fire weather warning goes into effect at noon, and a mountain snow event that'll last really through tonight. By tomorrow morning, should be a lot better. 30s, 40s across the state right now, though it's a little bit chilly for us in the mountains with all that snow that's flying up that way. Today, 64 degrees for us, windy and mild for today. Highs will be in the 60s for us across the eastern plains, though some spots along and south of the Highway 50 corridor getting up into the 70s for a bit of context. Average high for today in Denver is 58 degrees. Our record for today is 79. Forget about that, but we are certainly going to be on the warm side of average. In the mountains, though, pretty close to average, if not a little bit below average in some spots with all that cloud cover and snow. Fire weather warning across the I-25 corridor from noon until 8 p.m. That includes the Denver urban corridor on north and east through the Northeast Plains, Colorado Springs on south through the Raton Mesa. Fire weather warning for today from noon until 8 p.m. I say this all the time, but it's worth the reminder. 80 to 85% of wildfires are human caused or started, which means that we need to be smart on a day like today. Winds, not a factor as of 9 a.m. However, that wind will rev up as we get later on through the morning and into early this afternoon. I really think by about 1, 2 o'clock is when you'll start to notice that wind out there, though some of you might be noticing it right now. 40, 50 mile an hour gusts for us here in the high country, and that wind will continue most of the day today, and then by tomorrow morning it'll mostly be just kind of a foothills event for us by tomorrow morning. Winter weather advisory all day today until midnight tonight with 5 to 12 inches of snow. That snow mostly light to moderate. We are seeing that snow continuing for us here along that I-70 corridor, and we'll keep that around most of the day today, and that snow will continue through the night tonight as well. But by about 9, 10 o'clock, that snow will really start to wind down, and by tomorrow morning, that snow over and done with. Snowfall forecast, a few more inches to go for us, maybe another 1 to 4, 2 to 5 inches of snow, depending on your elevation. And of course, whether we're talking about west-facing slopes versus east-facing slopes, those west-facing slopes will do best, especially those west-northwest ones across the Parks, the Elkheads, and the Gores. Tonight we drop back to about 34 for us. It should be an overall quiet evening out there for tonight with those conditions. You'll be talking about generally, again, quiet weather, and winds will be reducing after about 7, 8 o'clock or so for most of the metro area tomorrow. Lighter winds, still not wind-free by any stretch, but it's still going to be a bit breezy, but not as gusty as it is today. Tomorrow, 61 degrees for us, west-northwest winds 10 to 25 miles an hour. Highs for your Sunday, 60s for the most part, eastern plains, 40s and 50s in the higher terrain. Weather forecast as we head over the next few days. Generally speaking, we've got a fairly quiet look to things, and then a warmer look to things as we get into next week, because that H that you can see at the bottom left-hand side of your screen, that H equals high pressure, a big dominating ridge of high pressure, going to move its way in our direction, and that'll get those temperatures way above average for most of next week. Take a look at this as we head over the next 7 days. Highs mostly in the 60s and 70s. Again, average high this time of year is in the upper 50s. And we're going to be flirting with 80 degrees by next Thursday. If we get to 80 degrees, I'll more on that in just a second, that would break a daily record. But those temperatures, very much going to be about 15 and 20 degrees above average for most of the state next week. That's going to start to melt off a lot of our snowpack as well. So keep that in mind, that if you're a spring skier, this weekend and early next week, it'd probably be your best bets, because we're going to have a lot of kind of crunchy, slushy snow for most of next week. Our average first 80-degree temperature of the year in Denver is on April the 27th. So that's a full month out, and we're going to be likely talking about those temperatures running well above, running into that 80-degree realm by Thursday. It would break a daily record, as I mentioned, but also this would be about a full month ahead of average for us. And our earliest 80-degree temperature on record, February 10th, 2017. That's not going to be in that sort of record realm, but this is pretty darn early for us to be talking about temperatures like that. Now, right now we're about 3 degrees above average so far this March, but another thing to watch in the coming days, especially this warm stretch coming on up, is that we are right now at our 26th warmest start to a March on record, but we're very likely going to finish with a top probably 10 warmest March on record with these warm temperatures we had over the next few days, and that number is going to climb considerably. Again, guess here is that we end up with one of our warmest Marches on record. Records date back to 1872, so that'd be the last 150 plus years. This will probably end up as a top 10 warmest March. We'll have to watch those numbers closely as we head over the next few days. And of course, the team here at 9 News, the 9 News Weather Impact team, will be doing that. I'm 9 News senior meteorologist Chris Bianchi and my colleague, meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen, with more details on this at 5, 9, and 10 tonight on the 9 News family of networks. Again, top headlines: fire danger today, so be smart out there. And then we've got that snow around all day long as well. Both the fire danger and the snow should ease up considerably by tomorrow. So that is some good news in terms of travel impacts and overall impacts as well. Again, we'll have more details on all this through the day here on 9 News. Once again, 9 News Weather Impact Team Senior Meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Thanks for joining us here on 9 News Plus. Have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your weekend.